Good morning, Bande Matram. Welcome, all of you. This morning, it is a glorious morning. Of course, this is Snana Purnima. It is a big day in the history of Jagannath culture. So, you must be boast of for this day. It is specifically, it is a great day. It is a great celebrating day. So far, this Vaishnava cults, this Jagannath sects are concerned. So, on this glorious occasion, of course, we are going to discuss a glorious topic, that is the basic one topic of debate, that is the confusion between religious teaching and spiritual teaching. Both are the different paths. We take, sometimes we confuse and we take as if everything is same, almost same, but there are great differences, big differences are there. We can find while analyzing the topics, of course, in the light of modern Sri Aurobindo's philosophy. Both the philosophy we have known, this is almost based on the same concept, but both are same consciousness. So we will discuss little bit on this topic, confusion between religious teaching and with spiritual teaching. So this is the great topic of discussion. We know religion means it is dharma, as this term is directly quoted, this is dharma. So dharma means while we take up the dharma, some people keep answering in many ways. This is Hindu dharma, this is Christian sects, Christian thoughts, Christian dharma, and of course Islam. Then comes Buddha, then comes your Jainism, and finally we go to Sanatana dharma, that is nationalism, as per Sri Aurobindo's quotation. So these are the things for which we have been narrow-minded. We have waged a number of wars. There is also bloodshed for the religious fundamentalisms. It is there, it was there, it is there, and I don't know how long it will continue, unless otherwise people accept to be spiritualized, consent to be spiritualized. This narrowness will be continuing. Anyway, we will have a brief discussion, brief differentiation between religious teaching and spiritual teaching, to avoid the our confusions, to clarify the confusion. Again, we'll take the initial part from initial discussion and clarification from the Divine Mother. Mother quotes, "You must not confuse a religious teaching with a spiritual one." Very interestingly, very clearly, the clarity is very much in the front. Religious teaching, Mother quotes, belongs to the past and halts progress. It is not, it was, of course, it is one time it had its value, it has got its validity, it had got its base, it had got its own virtue. But thing is then, thing is changed, consciousness is changed, people have that this evolution has gone big ahead of the religious philosophy. This age is gone, this time is gone, this space is gone, this consciousness is changed. So evolution has gone to a upper limit, to upper limit. So it was almost a religious teaching belongs to the past and halts the progress if we will be confined to these religious ideas, teachings. So naturally progress will be halted. Again, a spiritual teaching is the teaching of the future. Standing on the present, we have to compare between the see the religious teaching, that is of the past, and the spiritual teaching, of course it belongs to the future. It illumines the consciousness and prepares it for the future realization. So this consciousness, it was almost, this term was almost a vague term, unknown term in the religious teaching. So here in the while we are going for spiritual teaching, to someone must search for himself inside him. So this is, if this is the scenario, if this is the concept we are moving with, then what we have to do, this teaching of the future, it illumines the consciousness and prepares it for future realization. Then again, spiritual teaching is for, above the religion and strives towards the global truth, but it is there in the religion, it is confined, it is almost to a very limited region, very much, actually it is confined, it is limited. But spiritual, it is a global truth. Of course, some religions it has spreaded over, like Islam, like your Christian sect. So these are spreaded throughout, but thing is that it has not touched the entire heart of the race, human being as a whole. It has saved a number of souls, but yet to spiritualize the thing. Again, it teaches us to enter into direct relation with the divine. But religion, there is via media, intermediary, it is there inside there. So, but spiritualism, it enters into the direct relationship with the divine. Again, mother asks, if religion is of the past, it holds progress. It is actually intermediary media, in the middle men also there. It holds progress. So many ways, so many lacunas. For this stain is there, bloodshed is there, war is there, some fundamentalism is there. There is also division of sects. So many things we have seen. Protestant, Catholic, Shia, Sunni, Hinjan, Mahajan, Shwetambar, Digambar. So many ways it has been divided. It has been actually come to a very much now itself. It is almost a spent force. So, according to the milking technology, people keep following the track, but thing is that it is something different. So, mother asks, so why do men cling to religion? Mother explains, religion is based on creeds, which is our spiritual experiences brought down to a level where they become more easy to grasp. This is the what religion. Religions are based on creeds. So they are which are spiritual experiences through brought down to a level where they become your easy to grasp, but at the cost of their integral purity and the truth. That is neglected. Integral purity and the truth is neglected, but actually thing is that easy to grasp, that technology has been adopted and accepted. Again, mother quotes, time of religion is over. It is no more in use. Time is gone. We have to enter the age of universal spirituality, not only spirituality of a very narrow-minded, narrowness or a limitation. We have entered the age of universal spirituality, of the spiritual experiences in its initial purity. So we have entered universal spirituality of the spiritual experience in its initial purity. We are on the way, we are actually following. Then mother quotes very beautifully, God gives himself to the whole creation. God give himself to the whole creation. No one religion holds the monopoly of its grace. It is universal. Nobody can claim that this universal, this grace is for us, not for the universal. It is not nobody's monopoly, of course. So mother quotes, God gives himself to his whole creation. No one religion holds the monopoly of his grace. It is a universal phenomenon. Everybody can accept. So there is no limitation, no narrowness, no bondage. Nothing will be there. Again, mother quotes, instead of excluding each other, religion ought to complete each other. So there must be union, no diversification. Every must there will be on same voice, equivocally they must express the divine and get united without except not being, of course it is division, getting divided. Again, the spiritual spirit is not contrary to a religious feeling of adoration, devotion, and consecration. It accepts, it contains all. There is in spirituality, there is the spirit of feeling of adoration, devotion, and concentration. Everything is there. Then, excluding this, so many things are there. We will see. But what is wrong in the religions is the fixity of the mind clinging to one formula of the exclusive truth. Exclusive truth, one idea, that is, for to that mind is getting clung. One must always remember that formulas are only mental expression of the truth. Everything has been emerged from the mind, from the surface mind, reasoning mind, answering mind, like this. And this truth can always be expressed in many other ways. So nothing depends upon the entirely from the mind. It can be expressed in mind or logic. It can be expressed in the different terms. Anyway, we'll little bit we'll go for we'll see how Sri Aurobindo of course expresses this religion, and latter part in the latter part we'll go for spirituality little bit. Mother Sri Aurobindo quotes, each religion has helped mankind, no doubt of it. Each religion has helped mankind. No, from the time memorial, when the people are exceeding, that when the track is being misfollowed, people, when the world is, the race is misled, then religious preachers, leaders, they have come, they have of course created one religion, and it has helped the mankind. All religions have saved a number of souls, no doubt of it. Initially it was required when there was the there was everything was water, and this avatar was only a Matsya avatar. Then the use of supramental avatar, it was like a vague concept. So it has saved a number of souls, but none has yet been able to spiritualize mankind. Religion, it has been confined, it has been narrowed, but actually in its confines, it is still existing till date. But thing is that nobody, it has not, no religion has been able to spiritualize mankind. If a religion is not universal, that can be eternal. But religion, of course, this era of the religion is gone. It is yet to be universal. Religion is can at best modify only the surface of the nature. There itself will go these creeds, this system, this tradition, this formula, this method. That has to be, of course, adopted. It is the surface phenomenon, nothing in the deep. But spirituality, you have to go deep within. You have to make a plunge. You have to discover. You have to know why you have come. What is the meaning of the life? You have to find yourself. You yourself will find you inside you. So how much hatred and the stupidity men succeed in picking up the decorously and the labeling religion. That's what people are doing, decorating and the labeling religion. But actually it is very much confined, very much limited. And for that only it is almost an extinct force. Popular religion, we feel couple of religions are there, very popular throughout the world. It has got its spreadings, but steer in the course religions, popular religion is a sort of ignorance ego of devotion. Ignorance way of devotion. Devotion is there, but way is ignorant. Ignorant yoga of devotion. Now we'll a little bit we'll go for the what is that spirituality? Spirituality we see above the mind's twilight and life's starlit night, there gleamed the dawn of a spiritual day. Almost till now we have expressed and we have of course analyzed. The method of religion is of course from emerging from surface mind. But the thing is that above mind's twilight, after the twilight, the next phase of life, means that either dawn will come or night will come. Above the mind's twilight, mind, it's a thought process, everything ceases. Then life, starlit life, all the enjoyings, everything, it is gone. Then they are gleamed the dawn of a spiritual day. So, here in the quote, spirit is freedom, spirit is unity, the spirit is immortality. So, the spiritual life, here in the quotes and tries to explain, beyond the mental and moral being in us, a greater divine being is there, that is spiritual and supramental. Not only spiritual, in the quotes, another term that is for which we are actually striving, we are marching forward, that is supramental. So the Sri Aurobindo explains, beyond mental and moral being, there is in us a greater divine being, that is spiritual and supramental. Again, spiritual life is a growth, but not the sudden and inexplicable miracle. It is a growth, step by step procedure. It is actually progressing, it is growing. What yoga searches after is not truth of thought alone or truth of mind alone. Nothing in the confined to the mind. It is there. This phenomenon there. But the dynamic truth of living and revealing spiritual experience, for that actually it is going. The spiritual life is the flower, not of the featureless, but conscious and diversified oneness. Truth is the foundation of true spirituality, real spirituality, courage, its soul. So we have to pick up, so we must know.